Hey guys, welcome back to Cosplay Talk. I know this is a bit of an earlier video. I usually do these on the weekends, and I know I just did a video like 2 days ago. But I just recently did a video in the Knights of Samaria page, and I just didn't feel it would be right to give them the whole shebang on my Power Glove and leave you guys out. So, for a small update, I'm going to be doing a huge Astros Evil Dead Cosplay Talk, either in June, July, or August, one of those three. And it's going to go over everything. It's going to be called the Metal Man Ash vs. Evil Dead Cosplay Talk. Okay? It's going to go over everything from the shirt, the pants, the holster, the chainsaw, the boomstick, the Necronomicon, the Power Glove, just everything there is to talk about Ash vs. Evil Dead. Because this eventually needs to end somewhere. You know? So, eventually we will get into that. It's going to be a big whole video, so just keep in mind of that very soon. But for now, we're talking about the Power Glove and some updates and some things on a step-by-step tutorial, I suppose you could call it. So, first thing you want to do is you want to get this Work Athlete's arm band thingy. I'm not exactly sure what you're supposed to do with it, but what I assume you do is you put sandbags in here, and you curl up your arm, and it's supposed to help you, work out your arm or whatever. Up next is you're going to need a black leather glove. I will be doing the upper hand portion on the Power Glove much later in the future, and I'm going to be working on making parts soon. But for now, this is just to make wearing the chainsaw more comfortable. Because believe it or not, it hurts like a bitch wearing the chainsaw and the Power Glove at the same time. Not sure why. It just does. So there. And I also have my sleeve rolled up because the Power Glove is supposed to go under the sleeve. I mean, over the sleeve, but I just didn't feel like, the hassle of stretching out over my sleeve. So you should get something like this. Up next is this black piece. I went to thingiverse.com, thingiverse.com, and I typed in Ash vs. Evil Dead Power Glove, and this is what I got for the top piece. So I 3D printed that out. If you don't have a 3D printer, you can go to Staples possibly, use the 3D printer there, and if not, just go to a friend's or something. I'm sure there might be a 3D printer somewhere around you. Or if you have the money, just buy your own. But just keep in mind they can get a bit pricey. So I printed this out. I cleaned it up, sanded it down. Then I went to Lowe's. I bought some flashing. They're only like 50 cents per sheet. I trimmed it down slightly. I then bent it to the contours of this piece, and I screwed it all in place just using normal hand screws. And this is what I got so far. Keep in mind when you use the print, some details weren't included, such as this screw right here, these two screws right here, 4 screws on here, and a toggle latch. I will get into that in a minute, but for the screw details, I just took a normal wall screw and a screwdriver, and I just manually screwed them in just because I didn't feel like cracking or splintering this thing by accident, because it's honeycombed. So I would just say be extremely careful when, putting anything into this model, because it can be very easy to fuck this up, really quickly. After everything was bolted into place, I gave the metal piece itself a coat of red with some Rust-Oleum. I went 3 coats. And then I used black acrylic on this piece right here. I then gave this metal part a nice dark charcoal wash just all around the place to make it look grungy and dirty. You could go with black, but I feel that acrylic looks a lot more realistic, per se. I then went over certain areas and I then painted this flashlight completely blue, but I realized I was wrong because it's actually a shrink tube on this thing. So I just instead painted the middle blue, and I painted here and here silver. I gave this metal section a thing of silver. I gave this one screw a bit of silver, and then I did some light dustings of silver on the black screws. I then painted this little button right here, the outer edge of the button silver, and then the actual button itself red. It's not an actual button that you can press on, but it looks neat. So that's the whole top of the piece. After that, I then took a knife. Be careful when using knives because it's very easy to cut or stab yourself. I've done it several times on my fingers and my hands. But you want to scrape away some of the paint on the edges here, just to give it that worn, dirty look, beat up look. Because remember, Pablo built this for Ash in a few minutes using stuff he found in his garage from an old game system that's probably 20 years old or something like that. So don't be afraid to, make this dingy, make it dirty, make it scratched up. Because that's kind of what you want, especially when it refers to Ash. Because Ash is a very messy man, I suppose you could say. Fighting deadites and all that. Now, because I don't have the strap on, I will just snug it right into place right here. And this will kind of give you like a nice view of what you should have so far. It's not very hard per se, but it can be tedious trying to get all the little areas painted and trying to contour the metal itself to the actual black 3D printed piece. But with some time and some patience, you can do it. So that's the main, piece here, the red and black, than the actual glove. So let me just slip this off. More videos on the glove are coming soon, but I'm not getting into that right away. I'm just going to be working on doing some basic pieces I can just make right away. Nothing too extreme yet. We're going to wait until I have some more time on my hands to actually do the full hand piece. And I may do like an actual recording on me actually, doing the things I said I'm doing. Let me just tuck this in here. We'll set it down, we'll say right about here. Up next is the strap. This is just a backpack strap I got off an old backpack, clearly. And on one side, was also another thing not included in the print. You need something called a cam latch. No, not a cam buckle. A cam buckle is basically something you kind of click into place and you press on it, and it holds whatever you're tying down, stay in place. You may have seen this stuff like Ash used this in season 1, episode 2, when he's putting the huge fuel tank onto his trailer. The little clicky thing. It's basically just this big metal piece that goes right into the strap to hold it in place. I went with like 1 inch just because this is not going to be a completely screen accurate replica. It's just going to be something that I made for cheap. And it needs to be in portion with my arm and my hand. And with all the other pieces, so you don't want it too big, you don't want it too small. So I went with like 1 inch. So that's the strap. And lastly is the small baggie full of stuff. So let's take that out. We have red and black wires. Let me just dig up the actual red piece up again. And what you're supposed to do with this is super glue this. Super glue these two ends right here. Just make sure they're even before you do this. You want to super glue them like right about here. Not sure how well you can see that, but you want to like right about there. You want to add some black electrical tape around the end right here, just for like some aesthetic flair. And then you're going to connect the other two ends right about here to the actual flashlight itself. Alright, so that's those two wires. Last piece I have in my baggie is the small rectangular piece, which will be used to attach the strap. It'll go right below this red switch right here. Let me just kind of line it up. So you should get something like that. And the strap will attach to that like that. And yeah, that's just made with some extra flashing. Just cut into a small rectangle, use a hole puncher, and just add 2 screws in there. That's it for my pieces that I have on hand. For pieces I do not have on hand is, again, the cam. I keep forgetting what. The cam buckle, which is going to be used for the strap for aesthetic flair and also to kind of keep everything in place. And, as I mentioned previously, a toggle latch. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, what the fuck is a toggle latch? The toggle latch is like this little flippy thing right here. It's going to be like a small tab that you flip up. It's going to be a big claw that connects to here. So you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well, what the fuck does it do? Well, in the show, Ash always lifts this part up. And right here's like a Lego piece almost that he pops off like a Lego piece, which attaches the wires of the hand to this actual piece, which I'm assuming is the power supply. He then clicks the hand off and he tosses it to the side for whatever he needs to do. So what it does here is basically kind of keeps this thing locked in place. So that way, the wires don't come undone and his hand starts malfunctioning. I shall have more updates on this hopefully soon. I do plan on getting the toggle latch soon, and I just need to do some cleanup in some areas where some of the silver paint kind of spilled down on here. But more updates on this are coming, and as well as more videos as well. Clearly, because this won't be a YouTube channel. So I hope this video helps some of you less experienced builders out here who really want a Power Glove but just can't afford to get a really good one, or can't afford to make a really good one. I'm not the most expertise person on Power Gloves, but I think it looks pretty decent, and I'm assuming this will hopefully help some of you. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. If you have questions on how to make this, like, say, I didn't go into detail about something too much, or you need help with a certain thing, just message me directly at Paris Michael Voorhees on Facebook. You can tweet to me on Twitter on Paris Bouye, or just put them in the comments below. This Power Glove piece should be done pretty soon, the whole stump. And then I shall be doing videos on the hand piece whenever I can find some time to actually work on the hand itself. After the Power Glove itself, like the Power Stump, I'm going to be done for a while. I will be cutting out pieces for the hand itself, but I won't be fully working on it just quite yet. I'm still unsure whether or not I'm going to start like either selling kits or selling these as a whole. If they're in high demand, I will. Like, maybe somebody could start a petition to let me know how badly you want these things. But, as of now, this is just a small little DIY in case you want to build it yourself. Alright, guys, I thank you all for watching. And remember, sure, Pablo may have built this in 15 minutes. But that doesn't mean it's impossible for you to make in 15 minutes. Which is bullshit. I built this in like a few weeks. Stay groovy.